Probably a little bit ahead. You know, obviously we still have a long way to go, and we're going to keep growing with what we do and evolving as the league attacks us different ways. But you know, I love the commitment we're showing on the defensive end. Our defensive numbers weren't great against Chicago, but you know, I was pleasantly surprised when I watched the tape to see the effort and commitment we're making on that end of the floor. And when you do that, you have the ability, like we did in the fourth quarter, to string together stops and either stay in a game or blow open a game. You know, so really pleased with that part of the game the other night. And in answer to your question, probably at a little ahead of where I thought we'd be.
And it's almost like your team has a chip on its shoulder, especially defensively.
Well, they're enjoying that, you know, that end of the floor, and you know what it feels like, you know, to be a unit that it's very difficult to score on. You know, it feels good, and they're buying into that, and you know, I'm happy with it so far.
What has surprised you the most so far? You're at 6-1 right now.
Surprises, probably how well right now we're tied together, and you know the cohesiveness on that end of the floor. Defensively, you know, a lot of times guys can break that maximum effort, but it still takes time, you know, to get really aligned with all your coverages and communication, all that stuff, and that's probably further ahead of what I thought.
Did Rondo or Avery Bradley come today?
Both of them did the non-contact portion of practice, yes.
Questionable to him?
Avery is going to be questionable, and I think Rajon's still going to be doubtful.
LeBron specifically on the defensive end, I wonder when you got the job, you know, what was the dialogue like in terms of finding out where his head was at? We all know it's an 82-game season, and the approach that we wanted to take defending his ass off.
Yeah, he's working really hard. You know, I couldn't be more impressed with his commitment on that end and his intent to set a tone with our group, which it's done, which it's been highly contagious with everybody buying into that end. I don't want to really share the one-on-one conversations I had with him about that, but you know, in every film session, every player's coached hard and held to a high level of accountability, and you know, so you know, he's just been unbelievable with his commitment on that end.
How do you protect him as far as an 82-game season with that level of energy bringing up both ends of the floor?
Yeah, just every way we can. You know, whether it's off days in practice or you know, minimizes minutes, minimizes loads. There's some things built in scheme-wise that require him to do, you know, to pass some guys off at certain times. Every way we can.
Frank, you said before the season that you thought protecting the rim still remained the most important thing defensively. Also, you acknowledged the evolution of the game with threes. How have you guys been able to kind of do both to some extent, like staying solid at home and still getting out to shooters?
Well, we still have a long way to go with it, but you know, we're hoping to invert our defense as little as possible and keep our bigs in the paint as much as possible. And you know, when you have that type of rim protection or length at the basket, you ask your guards to be more aggressive on the perimeter, and you know, that's what we've been able to do so far. Is, you know, still swarm to the paint, but you know, be a multiple effort type of team. You know, still spray back out and get the shooters.
Are you at a point in the season where you're still expanding the playbook, kind of trying to expand what you do, or is that mostly refining what you've already started?
I'm in refinement mode right now because you know, if you add too much too fast, you end up not doing any of it well. So you know, but all throughout the season, we'll be looking to build. You know, our offense in April will probably look very different than it looks right now, and into the playoffs. And you know, even some of the things we do defensively continue to grow. You know, we had some scenarios come up in the Bulls game that, like, look, this is how we're going to handle this, and we'll continue to evolve and adjust.
How long does it take to, as a coach, kind of figure out what's sustainable in terms of your output, the things you're doing well that will stay that way, the things that you maybe you're not doing as well that might have to be accounted for all season, that sort of thing?
Well, the whole year is a big evolution. You know, as you do one thing well, the next opponent tries to take that away. Or if you do one thing well defensively, the next opponent tries to attack you differently. You know, so you're continuously seeing different attacks on both ends of the floor all throughout the year, and it's going to be a continual evolution.
There's a ways to protect LeBron. One being practice. Did he go through full practice today?
He did. I held him out of the live portion, which was only about 10 minutes, but he did everything else.
Also,
obviously LeBron has the ball in his hands more than he did last year. Was there any other layman terms, defensive adjustments you could tell us about what this team does on offense versus last year's group? I know you weren't here, but I'm sure you've seen stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's tough to really draw a big comparison because my mind is so into this year. But they played. I think one of the things is on the break. You know, we've created an environment where we want to have a primary ball handler. You know, whereas last year it was multiple ball handlers. Anybody can rebound and push. And most of the great fast break teams have that type of mindset nowadays. I'd say probably more than half the league is, you know, anybody can push and anybody can handle. And we've gone a little bit old school that way, and that's probably why you're seeing LeBron handle more in those situations.
Offensively,
What's the
I know
reason
you
for that?
guys. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, just if you could follow up, like what's the main reason for that?
It's my decision to empower one of the best decision makers in the history of the game, and not ask other guys, you know, to use up possessions with those decisions. You know, let's put the ball in LeBron James's hands, and when Rondo's back, in Rondo's hands. You know, and get the other guys out flying and you play to their strengths as shooters.
Offensively, I assume you think you're going to shoot better from three than 31% over the course of the year. But other things like you're not getting to line as much as I might have thought with giving Anthony Davis and LeBron James. What do you think accounts for that? And are there things that can be done to boost that up and boost the offense that way?
Yeah, I just think when our offense gets clicking in rhythm a little bit more, I think the free throws will come. You know, I think those two guys are both really willing passers, so they're not trying to force it on two or three guys at the rim. You know, when they see help, they throw it out for an open shot. That's that's what we're looking for them to do.
That stretch in the fourth quarter against Chicago, when it was really Kyle was the only pure scorer out there. For the second unit, is that something that you're looking to try to set up, where really it can be set up around Kyle as opposed to having Anthony or LeBron out there with him?
We'll see. You know, that was the first time we really looked at it, and they delivered. You know, and I think that was an important growth stretch for our team. You know, to show everybody that, you know, we can have success even when those guys. We're still going to try to have one or both of those guys on the court at all times, but when they're not out there, that we can still have success. You know, by guarding at a high level, and, you know, just sharing the basketball offensively, and obviously playing through Kyle the way we did in the fourth.
Is there anything you could pinpoint as far as the shooting? Shooting isn't, as far as league-wide, you're not on top.
It's early in the season. Give it time.